if you guys were watching this video because you wanted to see a lot of bears, or maybe you wanted to see one of us kill a bear, we're sorry to disappoint you, but your expectations were pretty ridiculous. We're pretty cheap entertainment.
Well, here it is, Boundary Waters trip, bear hunt, 2022. Could be an adventure. It could be a disaster though too.
Should be a really, really, really good time. Very excited. And lots of planning. Dawn of the Deer Camp influenced the whole thing. Thank you, Mark Crowley.
At the next stop sign, turn left.
It should be interesting, that's for sure. We were not expecting to draw these tags, and we've never hunted bears without bait before, so
yeah,
here goes nothing.
Period.
What do you think of the leaf people, Eric?
Oh, man. Leaf people. Very privileged. Very... You know, it's like... They love to just shove their opinions down people's throats, but then they're like trust fund babies. And they don't really work or do anything and complain.
It is early.
Oh, yeah.
Last time we went up the Gunflint, we didn't get there. It's almost 2 in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Everything was closed. We had to pee behind a gas station.
We did some public urination in Old Grand Marais.
Went in Rome or Grand Marais, you know.
But we have about an hour and 15 minutes to get back up to the end of the Gunflint, so.
Saw a wolf. That was pretty cool.
We saw a wolf. Almost hit it on the way in.
I was about to nod off a little bit, and Nate braked, and I just jerked up. And Nate goes, wolf, wolf, and it's just running down the middle of the road. Just not an absolute care in the world.
It's about midnight. We're at the parking lot.
Misting a little bit.
It's time to sleep. I'm checking in the morning. Night 1 in the bivouac. Most people don't realize that sleeping in a car is a lot easier than setting up a tent when you're just trying to get to the place.
Like, let's just sleep in the thing. You're like, no, we'll just set up the tent and sleep in the tent. I'm like, that's so stupid. Morning.
Morning, day 1.
It is 7:38 in the morning. We have awoken.
September 24th.
It is time to hunt bears.
It didn't rain last night as much as we thought it would.
Yeah, I was about to say, it rained. I woke up and it was just kind of like very, very just tiny little drops.
Yeah.
Misting. I like put my hand out the window to kind of feel, and I didn't really feel much, and then I went, that's good enough for me, and then I went back to bed. Doing the final
How many
repack.
Because I don't really want to bring this.
I have, don't even.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got an entire pack of wipes. Yeah, no point. We have some waders, some hiking boots, some chodas and muck boots. Got our canoes. The final countdown has begun. Nate's stuff. And then we have my stuff. And then all kinds of other junk. Welcome to the Happy Seal, your one-stop shop for bear chum buckets.
Yeah, we are doing it a little unconventional. I've not seen anybody do honey burns in quite the volume we're doing. Most people would just take a jar of honey and boil it till it's gone with the sterno candle or propane. But we're going to be out there a while and we don't have any bait, so we figured go big or go home.
Why don't you show them the honey burner system you came up with?
Well, I'll show that next.
Okay,
But,
okay.
yeah. So we're using 3 key secret sauce ingredients here. Just raw honey, Eric's using a different brand, but we both went with some sort of commercial berry smell. I think you went with a bacon too, didn't you?
Yeah, I did a blueberry and a bacon.
And then
Northwoods Bear product.
Gold Rush.
Gold Rush.
The secret sauce.
The secret
as,
sauce.
Bernie Behringer would say. But yeah, we're just gonna mix all that, and then we're probably gonna be boiling about a liter of it a night, I would guess, which is a lot compared to, I guess, how most people would go about doing a honey burn. But if you don't have bait, you gotta have something because we have nothing else to draw the bears in with. So that's what we're going with. Oh yeah, just a little thick. So I went with the Boss Boar Wild Berry Liquid Attractant. And honestly, if we don't go through all this, I might taste some of it.
I think that's a terrible idea. Speaking as a guy who used to eat bear bait,
I don't know, man. It smells good.
it probably says don't eat. Like, don't touch.
Warning! Not for human consumption. If swallowed, drink several glasses of water. But do not induce vomiting. If this product gets in contact with eyes, immediately flush with large quantities of water and seek medical attention.
I mean, it doesn't sound that
Why they
bad.
don't want you to induce vomiting, I don't know. Nothing like a little breakfast. Get the trip started. A little energy boost, a little sugar.
A little trail fuel. To become the bear,
This is
you must
honey.
eat
I
what
bought
the
this at
bear
a grocery
eats.
store, so I hope it's safe for human consumption. That's some thick cheese. Good honey, though. All right, we're gonna load it up heavy. 2 canoes, both solo. Disclaimer: you should never bring this much stuff.
Yeah.
We are way
overpacked.
overpacked.
Like, so you bringing in fish bait, like minnows? And I was like, no, it's bear bait.
Don't have enough room.
So,
Yeah, but if you're going bear hunting for almost 10 days, you need a lot of stuff. And if
You've
you're gonna
got-
film it,
I've got bear spray and 4 knives, so I feel pretty okay about, you know.
I think it's gonna be good. Seagull Lake, here we come. Alright, we crossed Seagull Lake. Waiting for people at the Alpine Portage.
Oh yeah. Long paddle.
Yeah, a lot of wind,
A lot of wind.
big water.
But we made her.
Yep.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, and our strategy is to camp out on island, so we have maybe a little bit less risk of drawing bears into camp. Obviously, bears can swim, but it's one more thing they have to get through.
Yeah. All right.
But we can swim too.
What are you throwing now?
Same daredevil.
Oh.
Stop. Hey. First fish. He's a monster. Thanks, little buddy. I think we're gonna put you back.
Yeah.
Caught him on like a freaking 4-inch daredevil. This is half his length.
They're hungry.
They're out for blood, I guess.
It is 7, maybe 7:10, maybe 7:30. I maybe should have looked at the clock before doing this. It's rainy. It's a little chilly. Nothing too bad though. It was pretty warm throughout the night. Nate may or may not be awake. But it's just kind of going to be a little rainy, a little windy, a little chilly all day. So they might be just hang out and camp and strategize. Just stuff like that. I think one of my stakes for my fly pulled up, so we're definitely going to fix that. And that's about it. Looking forward to breakfast.
It was the morning of day 2. Started raining at probably 1 o'clock in the morning. And it caused my hammock straps to stretch. So I am sitting on the ground right now. Eric, wake up! Wake up! Wake up! You ain't been up. It's worth noting we set up our boat for fishing. This is Old Town Guide 147. This is not a boat commonly used up here, but it works pretty well for us.
And then we have our deep sea fishing, large mammal fishing equipment. Sometimes you just can't bring them in the boat without shooting them, big walleyes up here.
So from bow to stern, we're running bail buckets, throw bags on both. Eric's got his rod paddle up here. Dry bags with lunch, camera gear. Obviously we have rifles lashed in case we glass something on the blueberry patches. First aid kit is always coming with us.
Yeah, I got a comic kit in mine too.
Fishing net, obviously. I've got my bino harness strapped up here. I'm trying to let it dry out. Other bailer, dry bag. This is sort of our sonar setup it's got rod holders. It's a Garmin Striker 4. We just use the transducer on a suction cup. Gear tie, the rest of the slack. Gear ties are awesome if you're canoe camping because canoes don't have a lot of tie down points. Excuse me. And they hold stuff a lot more securely with less mess and a bunch of paracord. The battery for this is in the ammo can, which also doubles as a really good spot to hold your map. Pretty simple. Other people have done videos on how to build these types of things. And then in the stern, we have another throw bag, and then our anchor, which is just an old scuba bag. We run a 100-foot anchor line that I shored up to 50 feet because this lake just isn't that deep. And then you just put a couple rocks in. I've seen people use basketball nets. Anything that can hold a couple rocks is plenty. And then you don't have to pack around a full-size anchor. But that's a quick overview of our fishing setup, and it works pretty well for us.
This is how we're leaving camp. Just coming back for the old camera tripod. We've got bear spray in the boat. We built a little simple A-frame to hold and brace our packs, dry bags. We've got our camping set up, some leftover shotgun shells from Nate's waders. We've got tents and our hammocks in the back, but we just want to keep everything on the high side. So if it does rain, nothing really gets wet. Everything can kind of hang out to dry. And yeah, always leave camp prepared for anything. So. Well, we are fishing for walleye. had nothing but snap jigs out and stuff, and chanced upon a patch of cabbage. And I always say, when you see some cabbage, pull out the old Naps Anglia long. First cast, the giant killer. So,
It's
never
probably-
doubt the cabbage.
Probably
Huge.
Probably 35-inch pike.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna eat him.
No. But first cast in the cabbage in the fall. Hell yeah. Unreal.
Nice. Little snake. Nice smallie. We got more than one species on the board. Go. Smallie. I think this bay is gonna have a lot of them.
Smallie Slayer.
Smallie Slayer. We're in about 5 to 8 feet of water. Rocky bottom. Super wind blown. They're biting. There we go. Smallmouth.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mid-day fishing turned into a hailstorm. I think the hail's let up a little bit. You can see some out here though. She started coming down pretty heavy on the lake. So
Good storm. Just got off the lake in time at the portage. So this is a good time. Good bear hunting trip, eh? Nathaniel done tomorrow?
oh yeah. Day 2. It's our first sit. We're sitting together because the weather's pretty marginal. We didn't want to solo paddle anywhere. It's been hailing and super windy and thunderstorms. So we got hail on our way up into this, but we're on a big ridge. I don't know if you can see our honeybird just getting warmed up out there. Well, end of day 2. Sorry we didn't film very much after we set up for bear hunting. Rain started coming down hard and Eric started getting a bit hypothermic.
Yep.
So we boogied out of there.
Yeah, when you come up in the later part of September or October, make sure your rain gear is in tip-top shape. And don't wear super wet rain pants from the day before. So, in the hopes that they'll dry out, because
Yeah,
I
don't.
was like, they'll probably dry out during the day. Like, no, they didn't.
Yep. Tomorrow's supposed to be more of the same for weather, so
And colder.
So we'll see. We'll see what we end up doing tomorrow. I don't know if we'll do as much fishing, but I think we're gonna focus on staying dry for the evening and hope the winds play in our favor. But anyway, we'll check in with you guys tomorrow. Deuces. Eric, are you feeling better this morning? What's on the menu for breakfast?
Biscuits and gravy.
B&G.
Drying out all this stuff.
We seem to have a Sitka tree in our midst.
Yes. And then you must
And a rain jacket line.
You separate the good Sitka gear from the pretty shitty rain gear over there. Choda's not included. I definitely upgraded my sleeping system. So my sleeping bag and sleeping pad and my tent. Should have really also invested in better rain gear.
So I think what we decided is you may have been a little hypothermic for a lot of yesterday.
Oh yeah. I was really fighting through it like the whole day. I was like, you know, so. Well, I was like really hypothermic, and then I had the adrenaline rush of catching that fish, and I was like, I don't care that I'm cold, I just caught a big ass pike. And then a few hours later, I'm like, still cold, still wet. And then we got hit by that hailstorm, and I was like, even colder, even wetter. So, that's just kind of how it went down. It would be pretty tasty if we just decided to bring shotguns. I'd eat it.
Eric, what did we decide when we were thinking about what firearms to use for bear hunting?
Shotguns.
We thought
30 out 6s. 30 out 6 could kill that. I think it's big enough.
we need meat in camp.
We need some camp meat. The duck's like, no. The duck's like, my English 101 course at Nature's Lodge really paid off.
It wouldn't be a Boundary Waters camp without giving you a review of the latrine. Here's the hot take. Bit of a walk to this one. Usually you don't go more than 20 yards, but this one's probably a good 50 yards. Going up this big granite slab off to your right. There's just a thick poplar wood in here. Once you get up top, see we have the upgraded square style with lid complete and an awesome view behind it. You can also go farther up this trail, and we've been glassing for bears across the way. It's a big blueberry patch, but it seems like most of them have shriveled up at this point in the fall. Here's the state of the blueberries right now. You can see that. I think we're a couple weeks too late to be really hitting the patches hard and finding bears glassed like this. The thing you gotta keep in mind about up here is there's little to no mast crop, so the bears are primarily eating berries and other things at this time of year, but I think we're a little bit past that, so it's going to be tough to really pin down where they're feeding at because they're not quite going into their hibernation routine. This is mostly coniferous or pulpwood forest once you get to this point in this far north. And let me just show you guys, this is pretty open as far as the terrain we're in. This would be about as open as it gets, and this is all you can really see. Thick pulpwood everywhere. Some open patches that do hold berries, they're worth looking at. But honestly, glassing is not the priority move on this hunt. You're just not going to see a whole lot of ground. It's just so thick. I mean, look at, as soon as I walk back in, you can see maybe 15, 20 yards. And this is a trail. Up on the eastern edge of this island, right on top of a bluff here, you can see behind me, we're just glassing. I think we might be hunting across on that ridge you see right up there. We might be hunting there tonight, depending on if the wind stays the way we want it to. Well, we're headed in for night 2 of hunting. We're getting a northwest wind, so we're hiking this ridge, hoping to look down into the eastern bowls of it. There should be a big swamp back there. We're gonna set up our burns on the ridge and hope it carries down. We did find some, looks like probably fox or wolf poop, but we're on a game trail right now and this is thick stuff, so we'll keep you posted. Well, we got a honeybird going and we're right on a ridge above a swamp, so we're feeling pretty good. Wind is carrying
cold and we started to slide real fast. We got a long paddle and quite a hike out of this spot, so we called it a little before shooting light lit up, but we didn't see anything. But the wind really started picking up, so hoping the weather holds out for tomorrow, and then we'll be back in. Might be switching spots though.
Well, it's morning of day 4, September 27th, and just have a touch over 40 degrees right now. As you can see behind me, we have the sun on one side and a wall of clouds moving towards us on the other. So we're gonna button down camp, get ready. It's supposed to storm pretty good today, so I don't know if we'll get hunting or not, but hopefully we do. Anyway, I gotta put some stuff away.
I wonder if it was snowing earlier, because I woke up at 6 and I was doing kind of the same pitter-patter stuff. But when I woke up at 6 and I was doing that, I went back to that. Did you see 2 hobbits?
I have not seen the hobbits, and I didn't see any fish either, if anyone's asking. Certainly nothing dinner-worthy.
I split all that wood for nothing.
Oh well.
Rain. You know, it's like, god dang it.
Yeah. I think the one saving grace is it hasn't been that cold. It's been cold
at night
when we're
like,
wet, but it's been tolerable.
Yeah.
You know? But that's hunting, so we'll keep rolling with it.
That's why they call it hunting, as they say.
I guess that's why they call it fishing too, because we haven't caught many fish either.
Well, we made landfall. Pretty rough spot, but we'll be hiking up these bluffs behind us and getting on that ridge, and supposedly it opens up a good burn area. Maybe not as thick as it was yesterday. In the words of Willie Nelson, it's been rough and rowdy traveling, but we're finally standing upright on the ground.
We are on
And
dry
after
ground.
taking several readings, I find my mind is still fairly sound.
He's lying to you. He has no mind that's sound, that's for sure. If you live in the Midwest and you think you need an ultralight rifle, come hunt the Boundary Waters. You will. It might not be the most elevation, but it is steep country. The bush, as they say.
Eric's down there cutting a bit of a shooting lane. We got the burn going. We just need to trim a few branches. We're actually pretty close to the lake, but we're right on top of a bluff, looking down into a swamp. So we're hoping that it goes all the way down into that big basin. It's just so freaking thick up here. We can't really make much moves in deeper. Like getting a very new appreciation for like how much work initially getting bear camp set up was, and the people who like bear hunted up here in general, like ages ago, man, some serious stuff. If you've shot a bear in the Boundary Waters, let us know. We've got respect to give you. This is tough. This is difficult. It's fun, but it's tough. I didn't know. So, what if this entire time, we've been hopping around with the wind to
And all the bears have just been progressively like following us around where we are.
They've been chasing
us. Yeah, so like right now all the bears are kind of around where we were yesterday, and now they're smelling this and they're like, where are these assholes? They keep moving.
Probably. I don't know.
They're just like in a band moving on.
Well, I hope the bears are as confused as we are. What are you looking at? You're supposed to be watching the bears. We don't shoot until you see it right in the hairy eyeballs. Well, we didn't see one tonight. We had to get out. We have quite a hike. We gained a lot of elevation back into this area, and we kind of lost shooting light because it got pretty dark in the thick of it where we were. So we've got about 1.5 miles paddle back to camp once we get down to the canoe, and then we'll see. We might try and hunt a little bit tomorrow on the way back, but I think tonight is probably going to be our last night out here, unfortunately. But it's been fun, been an adventure. Looks like a beaver out there.
Beautiful, hard.
So I walked away from the fire and went up because fire does fire things. But we are having a hard time getting it going because, well, it's been raining for the last 3 days and it's been snowing. So a little bit of a hard time getting the fire started, but just keep sweating the wood. But if the fire doesn't start, I like to employ what I call the canoe paddle technique, specifically the bench shaft style. Now, take your paddle like so and just proceed to give it a good thrashing. And then there you go.
Eric likes to think that the carbon fiber flavor of canoe paddle is more effective, but
The more
I
flammable
prefer
paddle,
the wood.
The more flammable your fire. So, just give her.
Morning, everyone. This is the morning of day 5. It was a hard frost last night, so we are looking at a bunch of ice over everything. We're gonna break camp this morning. Today is supposed to be pretty nice, but the next 4 days we're thinking, well, we're looking at the weather and seeing wind over 20 knots for 4 days straight. So we got a pretty big crossing ahead of us, and in solo canoes we can't paddle in that kind of wind, so we got to take advantage of this day what we can. Well, we're almost done packing up, getting off this lake. Weather is beautiful right now, But yeah, winds are coming, storms are coming, and it's already not even 40 degrees out today, so it's time to get out of here. I just want to show you guys my load out here in the canoe. Like I said, it's an Old Town Guide 147. Not your typical Boundary Waters boat. It's very heavy, very wide, and short, but it can hold a lot of gear, and it actually works pretty well as a solo paddler. So from the bow, we got Bear Barrel, which is just my food, the 2 bait buckets for both of us, my pack, which is filled to the gills, I guess you could say. I lay that on top, and then we've got 2 dry bags with extra gear down below. Like I said, typically you would not want to pack this much stuff. I brought a big camp chair just because we were going heavy. And of course, a sonar unit, and my rods in the back with all my rescue equipment and my anchor. So you can really load this boat up, and if you have a lot of ballast in the front, you can paddle it from the rear as a solo without a lot of difficulty. It works really well, and it holds in the wind nice. It doesn't get blown around a lot. It's an awesome morning for paddling. Steam's still coming off the water. Sun's out. It's warming up. No wind. Hopefully we catch a couple lake trout on Seagull on our way in. Have some lunch at the landing for that 6-hour drive. I'll check in with you guys at the portage. Eric, are you ready for this portage?
I'm prepared to die.
We have a lot of gear. That's what happens when you plan on being out for 8 to 10 days in below freezing temps hunting. You're gonna bring a lot of stuff. Here's to another portage.